All right, welcome. What a great start. Welcome everyone to tonight's live stream. Obviously, the focus is going to be on the crypto market with this latest very nice breakout on Bitcoin. So I'm going to be focusing on Bitcoin in the first 10-15 minutes of the live stream. And then I'm going to dive into a very, very long list of altcoins that I've found using my market scanning techniques. I've found a pretty good list of altcoins that I'm going through. So I'm going to scan that list with you guys to see if I can find any interesting altcoin trades together tonight. First, we're gonna run the a little wow, a word from our sponsors, and right after that, we're gonna take a look at Bitcoin.
PrimeXBT is the most powerful trading platform offering immediate access to over 30 assets. Trade cryptocurrencies, forex, commodities, stock indices, and much more, all from a single Bitcoin settled account. Visit the link below and start trading on PrimeXBT in minutes.
The Change DeFi app allows you to become your own digital bank with automated financial services that give you complete control over your wealth while enjoying 100% freedom and security. Sign up today at thebirdnest.com/change. Digital Renaissance is an NFT platform that connects artists with audiences, bridging the gap between crypto and culture. Learn more at thebirdnest.com/renaissance.
All right, first thing I want you guys to do before we start is hit that like button and press that subscribe button if you were not subscribed to the channel yet. So please hit that like button. We're gonna activate that YouTube algo to get more people in here, because I want to be sharing some very interesting setups with you guys here tonight. And if you remember the last video that I posted on YouTube, I posted 5 altcoin setups, and they all pretty much ran very nicely, hit TP. And so don't miss out, right? And the best of these setups, I don't know if you remember, the CVC trade was the one I posted in the Nest Club trading community. I did, however, personally and exit this way too early before even hitting TP1. But I know a lot of people did get in on this one, so congratulations to the members. Remember that you can actually join the community for 7 days completely free, no credit card, anything like that. Join, try it out, see what you think about it. And yeah, we're gonna have, like, if the current moves on Bitcoin is going to continue, we're gonna have some very, very interesting opportunities, most likely, in the altcoin market. So you want to be in the next couple of weeks when everything starts moving. If Bitcoin continues this breakout, we could use breakdown, right? And then, it's back to where we were a couple of weeks ago, right? But it looks very promising. And I'm going to start with covering Bitcoin first. What's up? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Keys. I'm from Sweden. And yeah, of course, this is non-financial advice, but if you do follow this advice, maybe your net worth is going to increase. But it's not advice. It's not financial advice, obviously. All right. Let's do this. So Bitcoin is obviously looking very good. We have the daily right here, and I don't know if you probably know by now that I'm watching the daily 50 EMA very closely for Bitcoin, right? That's one of the most important moving averages for me, the 50 EMA on the daily. And my strategy here for following the trend on Bitcoin is basically looking for longs when Bitcoin is above the daily 20 and 50 EMA, and looking for shorts when Bitcoin is below the daily 20 and 50 EMA. And we have just today yesterday's candle, we closed above the daily 50 EMA. So we have officially reclaimed the daily 50 EMA. So I am now looking to go long on the crypto market. And quick note, the way that I trade Bitcoin with the daily 20 and 50 EMA, that's actually how I trade all markets. I'm very active in the Forex market as well, and I will never long a Forex pair if it's below the 20 EMA in a daily and the 50 EMA in a daily. Now, there is a scenario right now with altcoins where most altcoins are actually trading below the daily 50 EMA, and obviously but it's above the daily 20 in a pretty good 4-hour bullish market structure. And in those scenarios, when Bitcoin reclaims the daily 50, but altcoin stays below, some altcoins are above the daily 50. I'm going to show you those. They're very strong, right? But in those scenarios, I am a little bit more relaxed with the way I use the daily 50. And but if I do take a long trade when an altcoin is below the daily 50, I need to secure that position quite quickly. I'm going to talk more about this bit later in the stream. But first, let's just take a look at Bitcoin. And you guys know me, I'm not going to be spending 20 minutes analyzing Bitcoin here, because for me, I'm only really interested in two things, right? What is the closest support level and where is the closest resistance area? That's pretty much all I care about. And of course, I have my indicators. I have the 20 and 50 EMA on the daily and the 4-hour, and the stochastics RSI in combination with the horizontal support and resistance area, and the weekly and monthly open. And I add the fib tool on that. And that's all I use, right? So you can look at Bitcoin right here. And a very important thing to note here is, of course, everyone understands that this is a downtrend, right? Everyone understands that this is a downtrend. But if you're completely new to the markets, if you joined yesterday, of course, you know that price is going down here, right? Of course, it's just quite logical, right? But if you're very new, you might have a hard time identifying where the highs and the lows are. I mean, for me, it's very easy. And the last previous lower high was the major one was here. You could argue that this would be a lower high, but I would only really see this as a lower high in case Bitcoin continued lower. So this is the previous lower high that we had to break above to create a higher high, or at least break the structure of this downtrend. And that is exactly what happened today. We broke above these highs right here, which is around 44.5, and kind of peaked above. Now, all right, you can't see my drawings. That's because I'm sharing the my browser and not the screen. So let me fix that. Let me fix it. I'm going to share my screen just like that. Perfect. All right. So now hopefully you can see me drawing on the screen. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Thanks for using caps lock. It makes it easier for me to see. Anyway, so yeah, this is a downtrend, obviously, right? And you look at the market structure, you're going to ask yourself, where's the last high, right? Lower high, right? In this area, right? And then you see that we peaked above that one right here. But the important thing right here is, I would like to see daily structure above it, not just a wick, right? Not just a wick. Now, yeah, Law of Vibration. This is a good one. This is a good one. This is a good book. Absolutely fantastic book by somebody called Tony Plummer, The Law of Vibration. It's a book about it says here, the revelation of William D. Gann. Read it. It's a real mindfuck. It's really good. All right, anyway. So yeah, it does look very promising, and the fact that we do have a daily close above the daily 50 EMA does look very promising, but I'd like to see a daily open and close above the daily 50 EMA. Looking at this chart right here, looking at the 4-hour, I think it's highly likely, actually, if I add the daily 20 EMA, I do... you know what? I'll just tell you to Google the law of vibration. Because I could be spending 30, 40 minutes just talk about that book. So just Google that, Google it. And you probably know Gann from the, you get the Gann tools, right? Gann box, Gann squared fix, all the Gann fan. It's a very interesting fib. Like, it's just, that book is insane. Like, it's like reading a mystery novel based on technical analysis. It's just absolutely insane. Read it. All right. So I do think that it's, I'm not going to say likely. I'm not going to say it will happen, but the probability of seeing a move lower down to the 40K area where we have the daily 20 EMA is definitely, would definitely be a very probable scenario. You would hit that, the top of that trend line area, you would kind of come down into the support area, maybe bounce on the daily 20 EMA, and that would actually be quite bullish. But because what happens then is you have, let's say that technically this is a higher high because price actually peaked above. But for me to call this a higher high, I would like to see it as a swing high, right? And what happens right now is if we have a couple of daily candles here, it's just equal highs, right? So it's just equal highs right here. We then have to break out to really confirm this as a higher high. That's the way I view the markets. That's the way I view TA. Now you could say that this is already higher high, but I would not agree with that until we have some type of structure going like this or just a breakout, right? But it looks very promising. It looks very, very promising, right? Now, if we get something like this with a higher low, so this is the low, and then you have a potential higher low right here. If we get that in combination with this wick, now this whole area becomes much interesting because then the breakout, this would be the second retest, and you have some power through that bounce right here, and the second test of that area would most likely cause a breakout, right? Now, this is something I'm not really clear about how to play this, but I do look at this and I tell myself, you know what, my rule has always been if there's a daily close above the 50 EMA on the daily, I would want to start averaging into Bitcoin, and that's kind of what I have to do based on this. But looking at this, the fact that we're hitting the resistance area right here, and that daily candle isn't really looking like the best one right now, I would actually want to wait because the daily candle closes in 4.5 hours, and I'm probably gonna, wake up fairly early tomorrow around 5 a.m. So I do think that it would be better for me to wait until I wake up tomorrow to see if we have a daily open and close above the daily 50 EMA, and that is a really good confirmation. And if we have a daily open and close above that level, I'll start averaging in on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I select altcoins, right? Now, if we do go lower here, I'm not going to be buying Bitcoin and Ethereum and the altcoins I mentioned long term or medium term, but I will absolutely look to buy the retraces on altcoins if those retraces on altcoins is coming down to an interesting area. And those are the altcoins we're going to look at tonight. So for Bitcoin, I don't have a clear trade for Bitcoin at this point, but my plan is this, right? Daily open and close above the daily 50 EMA, I'm going to start buying a bounce here, and I'm going to be buying that bounce, but on altcoins, right? And I'm only going to be averaging into Bitcoin with a larger position when we then again reclaim the daily 50 EMA. All right, so let's look at the list of altcoins right here. I've just done the first part of the market scan, and what I do is I go through a list here with 250 altcoins. I go through them one by one, right? Go through them one by one, and everything I like, I add to the green list. And we're now at the second part of the scan where I will try to make this green list as small as possible. I will then have this smaller watch list in two sections, with section number one being the most interesting altcoins that are most likely going to give us a setup in the next hours or tomorrow, and section number two is altcoins that are not giving us a setup but might set up in later in the week. So let's first start here with CVC. This is an active trade right now, but it's actually, I'm not updating this anymore. So I could actually, you know what, I'll make a copy of this layout right here. So I'll make a copy of this one, and I'll see if I can, make a copy, CVC, the Burbness trade setup, like that. And now that I have that copy saved, I'll remove that. And we can now start fresh with this one. Right, so let's see if we can make a setup out of this one. I think CVC is not the coin I'm looking at for a setup right now. I do kind of look at the retest of that daily 20 EMA. Let's add the fibs right here. We have two levels of interest. We have the 50% and the 618. Those are usually my go-to levels when using the fib tool. And that's what we have right here. And it's confluent, the long RLC is confluent with the daily 20 EMA. So yes, I do think that this will potentially give us a setup in the maybe tomorrow. So I'll move that down to the lower part of that section number 1. ENG is actually lining up for a pretty decent trade right here. So we did hit that resistance area that we marked out yesterday in the private webinar on the webinar. So remember, guys, we do have webinars like this one, the live stream I'm doing right now. We have that on a daily basis inside the webinars for the members of the community privately. And we had a webinar yesterday where we marked out this level and this potential setup. I do like this setup because it's now retesting the daily 20 EMA, which are in confluent with the 50 EMA and 4-hour, the 50% fib, the monthly open, and we also have the 4-hour stochastics RSI in below 30 in the oversold territory. So this is lining up for a perfect trade, a perfect setup. That's why it's on the top right here. Sand, are we seeing anything on sand? You know, I'm not really liking this retest. I'm not really liking this retest. And that's because I would like to fib this move using that low and that high. On the lower time frames, you can go down to the 1 hour. You can kind of see that you have, you know, a low and a high here. And on the 1 hour, that would probably put this move inside the reload zone, right? But I'm just not really liking that. No, I don't really like that. So it has to be on the 4-hour move, and in that case, I would only buy the 50% fib or the 618, but only if when price is hitting that, it's above the daily 20 and 50 EMA, which is not, right? It's going to test the 20, but the daily 50 EMA is most likely going to be used as resistance, and this is too close. It's too close. Now, this might be a decent setup, right? You could then be entering in this area with stops, even very wide stops. As a swing trade, this could be like a 14% stop loss, right? And TP1 would be 1.4R, TP2, and TP3. So this would still be a 2.5R trade or whatever. And if you want to add to your potential long-term holdings on sand, this would be a great area. But for my setup, I'm tracking my statistics of my trading very, very carefully and looking through my journal and looking at my trading setup. It's just very clear that this is not the high probability trade for me. So I'm just going to let this go. I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to move it down to the second list just because there's something interesting going on here, but I'm just not feeling it. FTT put in a beautiful long setup right here a couple of days ago, and we're now seeing a retrace. And what I don't like about this chart right here is the fact that it kind of looks like it kind of looks like it's getting ready to put in a local top here and break the local market structure. And we could, of course, fib this move to see if we can find any confluences with the monthly open, which would be the reload zone. And you can see right here that the confluence with the monthly open and the 618 is it doesn't get better than that, right? It's just absolutely perfect. So there might be a trade here with the bounce and the monthly open. You can also see here by adding horizontal level between the 50% and the 618 that you have a pretty solid support area here as well. So yes, if you do get a test of this area, it might be a good area to go long. And the trade for FTT would be, buy around 44, stop loss below 41.5, and last TP would then be around 44 or something like that, or potentially with a moon bag as well. But what I don't like about this setup is it's just not like, I don't like these wicks right here. It just doesn't really, I don't like it. It doesn't make sense. Like, I don't want to buy, like, it feels like I'm buying the second, maybe third retest. I want to buy the first retest. I want to buy the first clean retest of the breakout, and FTT won't really give me that. So even though I do think that there's some edge here, like there's some potential that you're going to bounce here, it's just not exactly what I'm looking at. It's not the perfect setup for me. ENG, this is the perfect setup. And you might say, well, it has touches right here. Yeah, it does, but this whole move looks very like it's just the same move, right? But then you look at FTT and it's just, it kind of feels like you have that breakout. This is the breakout, and then you have tests prior to, like, right after the breakout. I don't like that. So ENG looks pretty good here. FTT, I just have a feeling that it looks like it's ready to break down. Now, of course, if Bitcoin breaks down here, ENG is not going to hold. Like, this level is not going to hold for ENG, so it's going to be a bad setup, right? By the way, guys, if you have any questions on anything that I'm covering, if you have any specific questions about anything that I'm mentioning here about my system, maybe you're not sure why I'm using the 50 EMA or the daily 20 and the 50 and no other, anything, just let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help you guys out, right? So the Burbness is a trading educational platform. We're here to help you guys grow as individual traders, and my biggest goals for our members of the community and my private students is to give them all the tools to, you know, start trading independently and you know, make a career of this, which is just fantastic to have that freedom to be able to trade for a living. And I want you guys to experience that, right? So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll gladly help you out. Yeah, so could you tell me which EMA indicator you use exactly? Yes, I could. It's the it's one called higher time frame EMA. Is it? No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's higher time frame EMA by Zen and the Art of Trading. So I'll actually link this in the chat for you guys, so you guys can add this to your chart. And I'm also going to go through how I set this up, right? That's the indicator. You can watch that in the chat, and we can go into settings. I've added 4 of these, and you can go into settings and you can see that I've selected EMA time frame as 4 hour, EMA length at 20, and I use the smooth one, no color EMA. I go into style. A lot of people ask me how I get these dotted lines when not on the specific time frame, because if you look at this, right, I go to the daily, the line is going to be solid. I go to the 4 hour, the 4 hour line is solid, but the daily is dotted. So this is a way for me to distinguish which is the daily one and which is the 4 hour one. And I do that by doing this. I go into style. Color obviously is going to be the same. I don't know why it's not the same. You select line with breaks, and then you select the thickness as the thinnest one for the 4 hour and the second thinnest one for the daily, to give that, you know, give a more distinct difference between the two. So by doing that, you have these on. So you will always have the 4 hour, 20 and 50 EMA on your chart at all times, whatever time frame you're watching, and same with the daily. Very good to, because those are the only EMAs I'm trading with, right? So why am I only using the daily 20 and 50 EMA? That might be weird. Like a lot of people use, you know, many indicators and many EMAs. But I've actually, I remember watching this was way, like when I started trading and when I started developing my system, I just Googled, I went on YouTube and I searched like best trading system, best trading strategy. And I watched like hundreds of videos, and I kept taking notes and I kept testing stuff, and I found one guy that had a very interesting system where he only used the daily, or he only used the 50 EMA on all time frames, right? So I tried experimenting with that, and like, this is very interesting, right? This works great for my system. So I started implementing the daily 50 EMA, and then I remember that I used the daily 20 a lot. So I added the daily 20 to my chart, and I saw that it added a great way for me to, if I wasn't really sure about the bounds of the 50 EMA, I could wait for the reclaim of the 20 EMA, and that would give me great confirmation, and my win rate just went up, and profitability went up quite a lot. So that's a way of, how I develop my trading system through trial and error. Just test and test and test and keep statistics and keep notes, and what works, you continue, and whatever. So that's the indicator. And what about FTM? Good trade. FTM. First of all, let's see if I have FTM on the green list. Yes, I have. FTM is right here. So what would be the trade on FTM? It's below the daily 20 and 50 EMA. So yes, that there is definitely something interesting going on at this level right here, right? And it's also going to be the 618. If you add the fibs right here, you see that, boom, it's right in the middle of the reload zone of the latest up move. Yes, this is probably a good level. This is probably a good level. You can also add a trend line right here and see that it hits that trend line, right? So yeah, good level. But I'm not going to be taking this trade because statistically, trades that are taken as long below the daily 15, 20 EMA has a lower probability of working out. So I'm not going to be taking that trade. All right. But yes, depending on your system, this would definitely be an interesting setup in terms of just a pure clean break and retest strategy, right? If you remove, let me show you what I mean by that. If you remove all the indicators, right, and do like this, it's quite clearly a very clean level right here, right? It's a very clean support level right here. You have a clean breakout. This is the first rounded retest of a breakout level. This is a very good invalidation point, and it would probably be slightly above 1R to the last local high. So yes, purely from a break and retest of a horizontal level perspective, great setup. But then you start adding the indicators and the drawings that I have, and it doesn't line with my system, right? And of course, you guys have to know, like, I have one system, one setup. That's all I trade. One system, one setup. That's all I trade. I've tried to master this setup for the last year, about a year or two, and I'm now in the process of looking at creating a secondary system. But it took me over a year to master one system and develop one trading setup, and that's the only one I trade. So I need to follow that religiously because I haven't tested anything else. So I don't know if anything else is working. All I know is my system is working quite well, and if I follow that perfectly, it has up to a 70% win rate. Now, of course, I never followed that perfectly. That's why I'm closer to 50% in win rate, but my goal is to do that, and that is why I can't take this trade. If I take this trade, it's not according to my system. But if you take this trade, it might be according to your system because it does make sense. Anyway, FTT, no trade for me in the next few hours. I'm moving that down to the second list. We got Mana. How's Mana doing right here? It had that break and retest of that area. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to keep that on the first list because EJLD. Moving that down to the second list. I unfortunately I can't go through everything in great detail. This is nice. God damn it. So what we're looking at right here is we want to see all right. So if it weren't for these wicks right here, I would think that if it weren't for these wicks right here, I would think that this could have been a really good setup if we get a retrace down here to go long, up to these areas right here. But because of these wicks right here, I'm not that confident in this. Looking at the 1 hour, we already had that retest, so no, it's not perfect. And if it's not perfect, that's not going to be a trade, but it's interesting. So I'm moving this lower. Now let's start with the third list here. These are all the newly added ones. We have the second list here. Let's see if we have anything that needs to be removed or moved down. EGLD looking interesting. AMPL, you know what? I don't like this. I'm just gonna remove that. It's just something about it I don't like. Near, it looks terrible. Let's remove that one. KNC also, I don't like it. Let's remove that one. And Sand, of course, let's keep that one. We have the all perp right here, obviously hitting the daily 50. Strong rejection right here. Shit perp, same thing. Exchange perp above the daily 50. There's something going on here. Like there's something going on there. Exchange tokens seems to be outperforming. DeFi rejection before it even hit the daily 50. There's no strength in here. There's obviously a lot of local weakness in the altcoin space right now, of course, because of Bitcoin retracing back down to the daily 50 EMA. So it's all normal. This is, I've talked about this in all my live streams. We are going to get a retrace, and that retrace will be your potential entry trigger, and that is the entry trigger we are looking for tonight. AVE, I like AVE. AVE is looking good, and even though that this is below the daily 50 EMA, we could be using the daily 50 EMA here as our profit target if the risk to reward is good. All right, so I have an alert on AUD NCD. It says move stops up. So I will just have to watch that one before we move on. AUD NCD, move stops up. Yeah, all right. So it's a good setup. I posted this one this morning in the Burb Nest. And the idea here with this trade right here, what I will do now is I will limit the risk by cutting risk in half by moving stops up. So I'm just going to have to make a note here for the Burb Nest members to actually update this. So I'm just going to write update AUD NCD call. All right, so let's look at the AVE chart right here. Now this looks pretty good because it looks like this level right here is confluent with the 618, right? So you go from that low to this high, and it's not the 618, it's actually right in the middle of the reload zone, which looks beautiful here. So this is interesting. If we can form a bottom here, and if we're bullish engulfing, we have a long setup right here. It looks very good. It's also right on the weekly open. This is perfect. So we move that up to the first list. We got ADA, Cardano, looking very similar to AVE. Do we have a setup forming right here? Potentially, yes, but it's below the reload zone. It looks like it's going to break down. There's like, my gut feeling says no. So that's a no. I'll remove Cardano. Acro, what is this? What is this? What is this? Whatever this is, it's looking pretty good. This is a 1. Okay, Anchor. Let's remove that one. I don't like it. Get AVAX. What kind of PC do you use for trading? Always worried about security. Any particular software for security you recommend? Well, I have honestly, I don't feel comfortable talking about what security measures I have for my trading and my PC and that kind of stuff live on YouTube. I really try to be careful with that type of stuff, but I do put a lot of emphasis on my security. What you should have is obviously you're in crypto space, you should have a hardware wallet. You should have multiple hardware wallets to back up the main hardware wallets. You should always have a offline password manager that's not connected to the internet, where you save all your passwords. You need to have a very, very strong password for that password manager, and for every login, every website, everywhere you are, you need to have unique email addresses for each important logins, and never have the same password on any website, and a proper antivirus on your computer, which is updated, and Windows should always be updated, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. It's very, very, very important to keep to be very safe with those with this stuff, right? And always have 2FA on all accounts. Never 2FA SMS, always 2FA app, right? Anyway, that's that. Why don't you like Anchor? I don't know. No idea. I don't like it. Like sometimes I don't know what I don't like. Like it's like sometimes it's just So you gotta understand, I've been doing the same thing. Like I've been trading for 5 years. I've been trading this this specific setup for I think maybe 2 years now. And at some point you have to trust your intuition, right? At some point you have to look at the chart and you're like, oh, all right, yes, it does look kind of good, but it doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel right, you don't take the trade, all right? And it has nothing to do with trading on emotions. It has something to, yes, key pass is great. That's actually the one I have. So there comes the point when you got to trust your emotions and trade based on intuition, and not only like, yes, exactly, it's like muscle memory. You don't trade off with FOMO, fear, and greed, and that kind of stuff. You need to identify what is fear, what is greed, and what's your intuition talking to you, right? And for that reason, I'm not sure why I don't like Anchor. I just don't like it. I'm not going to trade it. Yeah, all right, Mana. Let's look at Mana. Mana is up here, and no, I think actually I do understand what you mean by this, and it does make sense, but I don't really agree with you, because what I do is I trade what happens. I trade what happens, not what I think will happen, because I have no idea what will happen, right? I think in terms of if A happens, what is the probability of B or C happening, right? So A being a hit of the monthly open, and then so this is A, this is B, and this is C. Now, if A happens, what is the probability of B or C happening? If the probability is higher for B to happen than C, I'm going long here, right? And that probability is based on certain factors of my system. Like, for example, is price above the daily 50 EMA? If yes, that adds the probability of B. Is price in an uptrend? If yes, that adds the probability of B. Is price below the 4-hour 20 and 50 EMA? In this case, it would be no. That adds to the probability of C. When everything points to B, I'm going to take the trade. If everything points to B, I'm going to take the trade. And with everything, I mean all the stuff that I'll look at in my system, right? So it's not about well, yes, it is. In that sense, I do trade what I think it's going to do, but I don't trade in a sense like I wait for confirmation, right? So I always wait for confirmation, right? A lot of people, they place orders here because they think price is going to go like this. I wait for price to hit this level and then confirm with the bullish engulfing and in stochastics RSI bull cross. If that happens, it confirms that the probability of a move up to B is higher than a move down to C, right? So I think it's important to always focus on what is price doing and not what you think price is going to do. What is price doing is follow whatever the market is going to tell you, right? Just follow because your job as a trader is to observe and listen and let the market tell you whatever it needs to tell you. And your job is just to go with the flow, right? Just go with the flow. Can you make a clean sheet, for example, BTC, and explain your approach and indicators? Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that tonight. I don't have a lot of time left. I'm afraid only about 20 minutes, and I do suspect that it's going to take about 20 minutes or more to find the best altcoins setups in the altcoin market tonight. Let's look at Mana. Yeah, a move down to the monthly open here, Mana, around 2.8 would be a good trade. That's why it's on one here. So I am watching Mana right here. Let's continue with this list. We got AVAX right here. Do we have anything else to look at? Do we have anything else to look at? Good question. Why am I using EMA and not SMA? Why am I using exponential moving average and not simple moving average? And the answer is simple, very simple. I've tested the 50 EMA. I haven't tested the 50 SMA, so I have no idea what my use case would be for the 50 SMA. I know, however, exactly what to expect from the 50 EMA. I've tested it; it works really good. I have a system based on it, and the profitability makes me believe that I have no reason to change it anytime soon, unless the profitability of the system declines heavily. Right, let's go. SHIB. I'm not going to take a look at SHIB. I'm not going to take a look at SHIB. Maybe I am. Fuck it. Let's just look at SHIB. Yeah. Yeah, like it's... You know, when bullshit like this just pumps, it makes me like, you know, god damn it. It feels like we need to flush out people. I don't like this. This is not a sign of healthy market behavior when shit like this pumps more than most of the quality products out there. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Shit coins really do pump the hardest. But the problem is they, you know, the way lower. I mean, this has a lot of downside potential. But you know what? Like SHIB, yeah, a bounce at the weekly open, complement with the 4-hour, 20 EMA and 50 EMA and a daily. Like it's going to be a trade. It's going to be long, most likely. So it looks pretty good. Yeah, it's an indicator. It's called. It's yeah. I'll take a look at AVAX. I'll take a look at AVAX. It's an indicator called Spaceman BTC key levels gray. Like what kind of name is that? But anyway, Spaceman BTC. Google search for that. Yeah, key levels. AVAX. Here we go. This is AVAX. Yeah. I mean, I do like it. I mean, I do like it. All I can say, it's, you know, it's kind of looking like it's want to move higher. I just don't like the fact that the perfect level for a retest would be the 80, like the 78 area where we have the weekly open, but a test of that perfect level would place it below the daily 50 EMA. So I don't think it makes much sense for me to trade this. However, we could be looking for a move down to the weekly open and then a reclaim of the daily 50, and this would then be my long entry, and stop loss would be below that weekly open bounce. So that's how I would play AVAX. But right now at this moment, not a trade, but I'm not gonna keep it on. I'm gonna keep it on. AXC, this is Axe Infinity? No, I don't know. I think so. Is it? Maybe. So here it kind of looks like we want to go down to test the 50% complement with a daily 20 EMA. Why is weekly open important? Why is a weekly open important? So honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why it's important, right? All I know is ever since I've added the weekly open to my chart, I've added a statistic in my journal to track it. I've seen that actually last month, whenever I bought the retest of the weekly open, so whenever my system gave me an entry trigger with the touch of the weekly open, and everything else lining up, the win rate was 100%, right? Now, it only happened 3 times on that whole month, but those trades were what made my whole month profitable. So I don't know what it is, right? I don't know what it is, but when the weekly open aligns with my other indicators, oh, look at that. when that happens, it's usually very, very good. So for me, the importance of the weekly open is as an entry trigger, as an added confluence to an entry area. And in this case right here, if AXS would come down and test a 50% fib, and I would be buying here, I would be using the weekly open as resistance, because that's exactly what it is. The weekly open and monthly open are acting as horizontal support and resistance areas. So it's just added confluence, just the way I look at horizontal levels. This is a 2. Bitcoin Cash, I don't really care what it looks like. This is not looking nice. Dash is looking decent. That's a 2. So I'm going to start doing this a little bit quicker, because now probably you understand the process. So we can now do this a little bit quicker. I don't like, so when I'm doing this without doing a live stream, obviously I'm not, I'm not adding all the indicators like we've done the last 40 minutes. I just do it very quickly, because I usually know where the 50% is and that kind of stuff. So this is a 2. Dodge is a nothing. EOS is a 2. Fail is probably 2. Key, I don't know, I don't like that one. Link is a nothing here. Litecoin, nah. LTO, I like it, that's a 2. Matic looks fine. So let me just do this quickly. It's going to take me 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes or so, and I'm going to go through the questions. So we got Matic. This is a 2. Metal is removed. Neo is removed. OMG, removing that one. 1 gone. Pearl is a 2. Reef, remove. RSR, remove that one. RSM, removing that one. TLM is also gone. TRB, what is this? Gone. TRX, that's a 2. TVT, that's a 2. VChain, that's a 2. WAN, that's a 2. WAN chain or whatever is gone. Wi-Fi, gone. It's ranging. Sen, looking weird. Silica, nah. Well, okay, that's a 2. Crypto.com is definitely a 2. Very strong. Cream, I'll remove that one. Dawn, that's gone. MI mid. Oh, this is mid cap, right? I'll keep that on. Orbs, yeah, that's one gone. All right, so we got a little bit smaller list right here. Now we're gonna see which one are one. All right, yeah, guys, hit that like. Exactly. I'm helping you guys find the best altcoin setups right here. And honestly, like, I don't want to brag, all right? But usually when I do these scans, I can, with very high confidence, say that when the entry trigger is confirmed for any of these trades and Bitcoin starts moving, most likely they're going to hit TP1. The probability of that happening is very high. The win rate of the system that I'm showing you is closer to 70% when followed. So you should pay attention to the ones which end up in the section 1, all right? You can look at all the videos that I've uploaded, my live streams. You can go back and check whatever I say here. And I would be pretty certain that most of the altcoins that I have showed when the entry trigger is confirmed, it usually turns out quite nicely. Tesla's is still at 2, FTM 2. So what we're looking at right here is we're looking at ones. Now let's see which ones we can upgrade to 1. EGLD is 1. And then when I'm done with this scan, I'm going to go through the 1 again to see if I can move anything down. And we're left with the best ones. Sand is a 2. AVAX is a 2. You know what? I'm going to remove AVAX. I don't like it. 2. This is 1. Dia. 2. DGB. I don't know. Like I don't know. Okay, so DGB is a 1. EOS is a 1, and it's actually starting to confirm right now. Phil. I don't know, man. What I do is I go into this indicator and I've selected the weekly open and the monthly open, and it's an indicator, right? It's an indicator. Key levels. Let's see, which one is it? Yeah, key levels. I'll just link that one in the chat as well. I'm working on creating an indicator where I've basically took, I don't know what's happening here. It's a bug. Anyway, that's the one. So I'm working on creating an indicator where I can combine everything into like a libs42 indicator or whatever, where I don't have to add all of this to the new shot. I know, like that's all I have in my system. So no, man, I have never heard about this one. Please tell me more about it. So what I want to do is like, I want to, yeah, so if you don't have a paid account, you can just add that one and you have everything on. Anyway, Phil is looking really good. So that's the one. LTO. Did I look at this one? No. I like it. That's a 1. Dia, did I look at Dia? I did, and I'm gonna remove it for some reason. Matic. You know what? Matic is a 2, but it's looking really good. Pearl is a 1. TRX is a 2. It's starting to look interesting now. Ban 111. Sill. All right, so now let's again go through the list number 1 to categorize these by highest probability, with the ones at the top being the highest probability. And no, it does not. It does not. It doesn't. Oh, well, you know what? Like every time it pumps, it would crash. But it's probably not gonna happen. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe. I hope not. Acro, yeah, it looks good. Ave looks good. ENG looks very good. That's one of the best one. FTT, I'm actually moving down to the second one. CVC, I'm also moving that one down to the second one. Mana, I'm moving it down to the second one. EJLD, looking very good and keeping this one. Dash, moving that a bit lower. EJLD, I'm actually also moving a bit lower. DGB looking very, very good. EOS looking very fine. Phil a little bit lower on that one. LTO moving lower. Pearl, removing that one, moving that down to the second list. B-Chain looking good. Quan Chain, right, looking good as well. CRO, you know what, I'm moving that down to the second one. LTO, Phil, ETLD, Phil, ETLD, Dash. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so I started this morning with 250 pairs, and we're now left with 11, right? 11. Tell. Well, yeah, I don't trade on KuCoin, so I don't never watch that. But it's this not good. You know, it's not good at all. Would not come close to this. So, what I'm going to do now, if you want to take part of all of these setups, you go to the burbness.com/free trial. You can see in the scrolling text below. Join 7 days for free, no strings attached, no credit card, anything like that. You just join for free, become a member of the community for 7 days. And if these setups are going to confirm themselves, I'm going to post a setup in the community. I will also post detailed setups on all of these in my individual channel, which I have a private channel inside the Burbnest community. So definitely, guys, check it out. I'm not like, I want you all to succeed, and I'm really all about giving you the tools, but it's all about you. I mean, it's all about you putting in the work. Like I'm not going to be able to give you money. I'm not going to be able to just throw setups at you, because even if you now have 11, is it 11? Can't remember, 11 good pairs right here, you still have to understand how to trade, because even though that I post a setup for you and you follow that trade, you're not going to follow that perfectly, because you're not going to follow that exactly as I do, because we're different people with different goals and different ideas of whatever. And that's really where the challenge of trading is, right? You have to know yourself mentally to understand how you will react in certain situations. Like, how will you react in a scenario where you feel a lot of fear or greed or FOMO? Will you stay true to the plan or not? And those are the moments that will make or break you as a trader. And that's really what I try to focus on in the community as the lead technical analyst, to be able to kind of teach you the tools necessary for you to trade profitably. And it's, you know what, like, it has very little to do with TA. All right. Most of my private students, they learn my system in a couple of weeks or a month, right? And most of my students are, but so I get a lot of questions about the private mentorship, but that's sold out, right? So there's no spots left, it's sold out. But most of my students are with me on a yearly or 4-hour basis, right? So first month they learn TA, then 3 months is all about mental. It's all about psychology, right? It's all about taking trades, reviewing trades, and understanding what went right and what went wrong. So it's important to remember that when you join the community, it's not about just following calls, right? Please understand that you're not going to be making money. You're not going to become a millionaire just following other traders' calls. You can follow the calls, but most importantly, learn from them and take inspiration and motivations from the calls to be able to understand what type of trader you are and what type of system you like and what type of system you want to develop or you want to trade. So yeah, I hope to see you guys in yeah, I'm really liking Phil as well. What I'm thinking here on Phil is, you can, if you add the fibs here, you will see that the the reload zone, like it's testing reload zone right now. I do think that it's actually possible to go down to test 22.65, a wick down to 22.65, and then if you form a 4-hour bullish engulfing inside this reload zone, that would be great long. And if I do go long in this area, I would put my stops below, probably like below 21.5, so below 21.5, and my TPs would be TP1 26.64, TP2 would be 26.84, and TP3, the last one, would be 29.74 probably. Now, what you could do on Phil as well is keep a moon bag up to 40, right? So let's say 39. Now that would be an insanely big move, right? That would be 70% move. So you could TP, leave 25% of the position open in case Bitcoin breaks out for real and takes altcoins with it. You can kind of see here on the film that it's still in a downtrend. Nothing is confirmed, but if you risk small on this trade, the risk to reward could be quite massive. It could be like a 6, 7, 8 hour trade, right? If you play this correctly. So it's all about risking small and letting your winners run, right? Because we don't know if Bitcoin is going to continue to the upside. If somebody tells you they know that Bitcoin is going to break out and continue to break out, they don't know shit about trading. Like nobody knows what will happen. It's all about trying to find which way are more probable and then risk a very small amount on whatever you think is more probable and then letting that run. Because if this is the beginning of a trend, if you get in now, you can really let the winners run. And with very low risk, you're still going to be making quite a lot of money. So it's all about patience, right? And if you miss this opportunity, if Bitcoin breaks out and none of the altcoin setups that I've watched today is going to give us an entry trigger, you could be sure that in a couple of days or next week, we are going to see that 4-hour retrace where my 4-hour setup will confirm and I will have more setups for you guys. So it's all about a game of patience and waiting for the obvious and the best, beautiful setups. And if you miss them, that's all right, as long as you don't FOMO. You just wait for the next one, right? All right, guys, that's it for me tonight. Tonight. I need to get some sleep. All right, guys, you guys been great. I really do appreciate all of you coming in here and asking questions. And yeah, really do appreciate all of you. You guys are super supportive. The feedback I'm getting from you guys is just absolutely fantastic. And if you do like what I'm doing, if you do like the stuff that I'm sharing with you, if anything I've told you is helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't, or just join the community and say hi. All right, guys, take care. See you guys next time.